American men are the #1 consumers of sex of children in the world. We have a problem in the United States with men paying to have sex, basically paying to rape our children.
The average age of a child snatched into sex trafficking at 11 years old.
Children every day are being sold to be sexually violated and abused.
I would bet we don't go a single day without picking up a juvenile involved in prostitution.
We're angry, we're mad, we're upset about everything under the sun. So why are we as Americans not upset, not outraged at the sex slavery of our boys and girls all across this country? I can't figure it out. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to stop it. And I don't care who of you out there is involved in doing this. If you're doing it, you need to stop. I was born in San Diego, grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Loved baseball, loved sports in general. Was blessed to be drafted by the Cleveland Indians my senior year at the University of Louisville, 1980. 35th round, meaning I couldn't play, really. Started my career, had a great love for baseball, ended up going into scouting and coaching. I pretty much had most of the jobs in baseball, from minor league coach to area scout to East Coast supervisor, scouting director, assistant general manager, and general manager. I can tell you about Tom Brady. I worked Tom Brady out. When I was in baseball, we drafted him, tried to sign him. He was a left-handed catcher. He wanted to go play football, went to Michigan, sat on the bench, but I think he made the right decision. If I'd have done what I wanted to do, he wouldn't have brought a world championship to the Bucs last year, so you can thank me on your way out. I ended my career becoming the general manager, vice president of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And in the baseball world, or sports world in general, you're usually hired to be fired. I was there for about 3.5 years, and I got fired early in the season of 2001. From there, I went into ministry after I left the Dodgers. Did a lot of mission trips and worked with kids at the college level, and very interesting time in my life. I was in northern Uganda in the refugee camps, the poorest people in the world. I just try to take hope there, Paul, because the people there have no hope.
Right.
And I just try to tell them about the love of God, about how Jesus Christ can meet their needs, and also bring in life supplies, bring in food, right, or clothing, or whatever I can do just to show them the love of Christ. In 2009, I went to Thailand with my pastor, Francis Chan, and was introduced to 4-, 5-, and 6-year-old boys and girls that had been sold as sex slaves, that had been trafficked. And it broke my heart. Came back to America, and for the next few years started researching it, trying to figure out, was child sex trafficking happening in America? And lo and behold, it was. American men are the #1 consumers of sex, of paying to rape children in the world. We have a problem in America, and God's called me to fight that problem.
One thing I can say about Kevin is his heart has been absolutely broken over sex trafficking. And it's one thing to say that and have these feelings. It's another thing to devote your time and energy and make sacrifices to actually change the situation.
God is calling me to fight for our children, but He's also calling each of you.
Right, I sit in cells, in rooms with children that are broken by the acts of adults. And this is, I have predominantly black and brown girls, predominantly, the majority of those victims of child sex trafficking that have been broken.
People involved in this are people that are trying to keep it quiet and don't want to be known for their involvement, being they participate in paying to rape children, or they're benefiting from it.
The first time I ever had sex with a cop was like literally I gave him a blowjob because I didn't want to go to jail. I remember, like, you know, an officer, and it's very far and few, like, you know, it's very low percentage of that, but like I could just still visualize him taking, unloosening his belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like, I've had Johns that were like firefighters, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if some of them say, like in some of their classes, in their John classes that they get cited for, oh, I didn't know she was a kid. How? Like, I don't understand it.
When I talk about my calling from God to fight child sex trafficking, it encompasses a lot of different aspects. It means making sure politicians are aware of the problem and are changing laws. It's making sure DAs and prosecutors are enforcing those laws. It's working with law enforcement to make sure that they're positioned to go after traffickers, pimps, and buyers. We need to alert businesses. We need the hotels and motels to know what's going on to keep this from occurring in their places of business. We need the churches. Church, this is a call to you. These are modern day orphans, and I can't understand why every church in America isn't involved in this.
What am I going to do personally? I think if everybody asks themselves that question and then be honest enough with God to say, okay, God, speak to me. What is it? And then do it. If all you do is hear and don't do, what good is it?
We just moved to Las Vegas. We're going to take this evil on in Las Vegas. We just moved from my wife says, what are you doing? When God calls, you need to listen and you need to go. We're going to fight it in Vegas because it's accepted. It's the norm. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? No, we're going to change that. Whatever happens in Vegas no longer stays in Vegas.
The definition of awareness to me is that there's a call to action. You get engaged. Once you're aware that there's a problem and it involves children, you need to do something about it.